So obviously I can't predict the future, but with Maelstrom's portfolio, we are max long. And so we've taken all of our excess cash and we've been buying Bitcoin from 90,000 all the way down to 74,000. And so we're not buying anything else. All we'll be doing now is waiting for alt season to come around and sort of rejigging in the portfolio to maybe go into some high quality alts. But we are at maximum crypto exposure. I believe that this bull market will now continue, and 74,500 was the low for this particular part of the cycle. I think people have not focused on what he's been saying for the last 12 years. He campaigned in 2016 on the Main Street getting a bad deal, whatever you want to classify that is. His base, people who don't have college education, lost their manufacturing jobs over the past 50 years, and he is their champion and returned them. Whether or not you believe that, doesn't matter. That's the rhetoric. And so he started to trade war with China in 2018, kind of petered off a bit, and then he revamped it in 2024. 2025 with these tariffs, right? And so at the end of the day, we're realigning the global supply chains and finance and capital. And so America needs to go from a deficit to a neutral country, which basically means China has to reverse those flows. And that's what we're seeing. Now, the speed and the pace and how fast it happens, that's the question. People were a bit surprised with how hard he went at tariffs, but make no mistake, this is just a symptom of the same decoupling disease that's been going on for many, many years. And it's a bipartisan effort. It's not just Trump. Biden also continued this China bashing and sort of decoupling. So again, it doesn't matter. They'll be what they be. Absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, what people need to understand is that Trump and Bessent and globally policymakers cannot handle volatility. They're structurally short volatility. So when you have bond volatility rising as it did in early April after the Trump tariffs, they swung into immediate action. They tempered their, how great they were big are going to go on tariffs. And we saw Bitcoin rally aggressively. Stocks have followed. I think NASDAQ was up on the month, even after all that happened, right? So at the end of the day, we know what the response is. The response is money printing. We know what the triggers. It's bond market volatility. And so next time this happens, and guess what? Trump's going to return back to maximalist position on tariffs to get what he wants from the other allies or even China. And so we're going to have a repeat of what happened in April. But this next time, I don't think Bitcoin trades down with stocks. I think Bitcoin just says, oh, okay, well, I know that they're going to have to print more money because this divorce is going to be very expensive. So I'm just going to keep rallying. And I don't care if NASDAQ's down 10 and 20%. So obviously I can't predict the future, but with Maelstrom's portfolio, we are max long. And so we've taken all of our excess cash and we've been buying Bitcoin from 90,000 all the way down to 74,000. And so we're not buying anything else. All we'll be doing now is waiting for alt season to come around and sort of rejigging in the portfolio to maybe go into some high quality alts. But we are at maximum crypto exposure. I believe that this bull market will now continue, and 74,500 was the low for this particular part of the cycle. But I think the new narrative is going to be fundamental season. What's fundamental season? It's real users who pay real money for real service, right? And so there's very few projects that actually do that. And so that's what the products we're looking for. We're big in Pendle, best sort of fixed income trading platform, is it profitable as a protocol. I've been obviously very vocal about EtherFi. They just launched their EtherFi cash card. They're going to bring millions of people into the crypto ecosystem by allowing them to spend stables, borrow against their staked ETH, using the Visa network. And they're going to build a new neobank. Again, customers, cash flow, profit goes to token holders. These are the types of things that we're looking for. If your token is some high FTV, low float thing that went down 95% in the last, 2023, 2024, and you have no traction, you're not getting levitated. There'll be a new narrative that people are gonna ape into, and it's not gonna be that. We're gonna have to return to like actual cash flows, and there's probably less than 50 projects that actually have real cash flows. So if this is public knowledge, Maelstrom participated in the UPXI offering. They are now buying Solana as a sort of a treasury function. So we are long that stock. So we're participating in this. This is essentially just TradFi financial engineering games, right? There's a particular set of investors who, for whatever reason, cannot or will not buy underlying coin. They can only buy listed equities. And so there are some financial engineers who said, okay, well, I have this buyer who wants crypto but can't buy crypto. So I'm going to put it in a wrapper that they can understand. And then you have these products trading at premiums. But if you can buy Solana, Bitcoin, ETH in the real markets, why would you trade these products? It doesn't make any sense. But that's the trade that we're betting on. Will this get out of hand? There's too much leverage. I don't know, but when the music's playing, I'm gonna dance. No, because I can buy Bitcoin. If you couldn't buy Bitcoin, then you have the Bitcoin ETF. You're basically trading the premium or discount of this thing. It's a little bit more complicated, than just like buying Bitcoin. I'm not exactly sure that's suitable for a lot of people, but again, depending on what your fiduciary restrictions are, that might be all you can have. And that's what Michael Saylor is betting on. It's like there's this group of people that've got a lot of money, but because of dumb rules, they can only buy one thing, so he's going to satisfy them. I think there was a video of me at Space Club in Miami dancing when I got the news that President Trump party goes, oh, it's great. So yeah, very thankful for that. We were onwards and upwards. I think that when governments buy things, they buy things for political reasons. And so if you get really excited when they're buying it, then you get really scared when they're selling it. And they're going to go both ways. And so I think that we shouldn't really get too enthusiastic about this. It's an open protocol. If they want to buy it, great. This, that's what it's there for. Do I really think we should be lobbying as expending political capital to buy Bitcoin? No, but spend political capital to make sure that there's freedom of information, that people can code without fear of going to jail or retribution. That's what I think we should spend our energy on, not whether or not XYZ government is going to buy Bitcoin with their sovereign funds.